Now that is how you start a show. Thanks to Independence for that amazing entrance. That's got to be the coolest entrance in Iowa high school football, if you ask me. If you're just listening to the podcast version of this show, do yourself a favor, look up the Independence entrance. That was amazing. And down on the field, that horse is flying. I mean, my goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Iowa Prep Sports Postgame Week 8 edition. Nathan Ford with the Gazette here. We're going to get to Independence here in the show in a little bit, but let's start in Class 5A, where the number 1 ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy Cougars, solo number 1 this week. They were tied with Southeast Polk last week. They're the last unbeaten team in 5A. Now the solo number 1 ranked team over at Kingston Stadium. Took them a while to get going at Johnston. Let's get the report from Jeff Linder.
Hey, it's Jeff Linder reporting from Kingston Stadium, where Class 5A top-ranked Cedar Rapids Kennedy defeated Johnston 24-10 in a football game here. Kennedy trailed 7-0 at halftime. Really got the wheels going in the second half behind quarterback Carson Blitz, who finished with 321 yards, and almost 200 of those came in the third quarter alone. Down 7-0, Kennedy scored on its first drive of the second half. Blitz connected with Brendan Lindy for a 9-yard touchdown pass. Luke Bradley's 31-yard field goal put Kennedy ahead for good at 10-7. Then Blitz connected again with Jaron Centers for 36 yards. Centers got a really good block downfield after the catch and was able to turn that into a catch and run for touchdown to make it 17-7. Johnston got within 17-10. Kennedy was trying to kill some clock, and fullback Alex Cook got loose for 58 yards and then punched it in for a 1-yard touchdown to really put the game out of reach on the following play. Kennedy moves to 8-0 on the season. Like I said, Blitz threw for 321 yards, lost a fumble in the first half when the Cougars were driving, but more than made up for it in the second half. 7 different Cougars had pass receptions, and the Cougars will try to finish off a 9-0 regular season next week when they go to Dubuque Hempstead. Johnston falls to 3-5. Reporting again from Kingston Stadium, the final again, Cedar Rapids Kennedy 24, Johnston 10. Back to you, Nathan.
Elsewhere in 5A, Southeast Polk beat Ankeny Centennial 16-0. Third-ranked West Des Moines Valley lost to number 9 West Des Moines Dowling. Another great chapter of that rivalry's history, 31-27. Number 4 Ankeny all over Waukee Northwest, 48-7. Here in Eastern Iowa, blowout wins for number 6 Cedar Rapids Prairie, 7th-ranked Iowa City High, number 8 Linn-Mar. Number 10 Cedar Falls loses to Bettendorf, 28-0. Big win for the Bulldogs. And number 10, Pleasant Valley into the rankings this week after beating City High. The Spartans over Dubuque Senior, 28-14 here in Week 8. Class 4A had some big results in Central Iowa. 8th-ranked Indianola handed number 3 Bondurant Farrar its first loss, 15-7. Indianola's only loss came to Norwalk, and the 5th-ranked Warriors were upset by Carlisle, 21-14 tonight. Notable results in Eastern Iowa was number 2 Cedar Rapids Xavier over Newton, 48-24. 6th-ranked Waverly Shell Rock beat Western Dubuque 55-39. Okay, now to Class 3A and the game of the night. Number 6 Independence hosting number 3 West Delaware. We've got some highlights, and KJ Pilcher has the postgame report.
Hi, I'm KJ Pilcher reporting from Lyle Lineball Field in Independence, where we saw a Class 3A District 3 tilt for the title between number 3 West Delaware and number 6 Independence. The Hawks come away with a victory 25-14. The game started out kind of as a defensive slugfest. A scoreless first quarter. The two teams exchanged touchdowns. In the second quarter, West Delaware's first scoring drive started as a run-heavy attack until they got down to the 17 of Independence when they pulled out some trickery, a backwards pass from Kyle Cole to Will Ward, and he found Luke Curley dragging across the defense for a 17-yard score and a 7-0 lead there in the second. And then Independence wasted little time capitalizing on a fumble punt that was mishandled by West Delaware, and Independence recovered it at the Hawks 44. 5 plays later, Independence tied it up 7-7 with 3:26 to go in the second quarter. Mitch Johnson hit Keegan Schmidt on a 23-yard touchdown pass, just kind of throwing it up over the linebackers, and that was successful going into the break. And then in the second half, things really changed. Independence came out, a 21-play drive, going all the way down inside the West Delaware 10-yard line. They got backed up a little bit, and the drive resulted in a 27-yard field goal. That was blocked by Wyatt Volker, who jumped through the A-gap and laid out and turned Independence away without a score after a drive that lasted over 9.5 minutes. West Delaware didn't touch the ball until 2:27 to go in the third quarter, but they made use of the little time that they had. Their first second half drive resulted in a Kyle Cole 13-yard run to give them a lead 13-7. On the next offensive drive, it was Cole again. This time, first snap for West Delaware, he bolted around the left end for a 71-yard touchdown score. Independence didn't shy away. They didn't fall back. They came back with a 27-yard touchdown pass from Johnson to Brady McDonald, just a sophomore. Nice reception in the back of the end zone over a defender. That was also set up by a 48-yard pass from Johnson to Schmidt. Really big play to kind of set up that score. But the next West Delaware scored touchdowns on the first 3, and the last one came on a 70-yard jaunt by Wyatt Volker to really ice things there for West Delaware. Like I said, they come away with a District 3 title. Independence, both teams are now 7-1. Independence 3-1 in the district. West Delaware moves to 4-0. Back to you, Nathan.
Another district title on the line. Number 4 Solon beat Grinnell 35-17. Battle of unbeatens. It was number 5 Humboldt over number 7 Nevada 19-15. 8th ranked Benton Community continues to roll. 7 wins in a row for the Bobcats. 42-14 over Maquoketa. And number 10 Algona lost to Ballard 49-21. Class 2A's number 1 ranked team fell on the last night of the regular season. Number 1 Southeast Valley losing to number 7 Spirit Lake 21-14 as the craziness in that district continues all the way until the end. The 4 playoff qualifiers, Southeast Valley, OABCIG, Esterville Lincoln Central, and Spirit Lake, all ranked in the top 10, all beat up on each other throughout the year. Man, if you're paired with that district in the playoffs, good luck. Spirit Lake, the 4th place team, just beat the top ranked team in the state. Class 1A, number 1 Van Meter got a ranked matchup against number 8 ACGC, Battle of Unbeatens, and it was all Bulldogs, 41-7. Number 6 Dyersville Beckman stays undefeated as well. They got MFL Marmac tonight in an impressive score, 41-7. In Class A, top-ranked West Hancock similarly shuts out number 6 North Butler, 36-0. Both those teams were undefeated coming into the night. North Tama was undefeated until last week. The Red Hawks took on number 2 Grundy Center tonight, lost 28-0. Number 3 North Lynn with another shutout, 50-0 over Maquoketa Valley. It was Linville Sully taking down number 8 Belle Plaine, 25-8. Number 9 East Buchanan into the rankings this week, beat South Winneshiek 40-16. Number 10 Southwest Valley lost to Mount Ayr, 41-33. In 8-player, it was number 4 Easton Valley over number 9 Lansing Key, 51-46. 8th ranked Lennox over Fremont Mills, 52-46 in double overtime. That Easton Valley Key game really sticks out. The Keyhawks hadn't really had the toughest schedule, but that proves that they can compete with some of the best teams in the state. Let's go back to Class 1A. Ryan Pleggenkuhle has some notes for us on number 3 Iowa City Regina's game against Durant.
Iowa City Regina will head to the postseason undefeated and on a high note following a 34-16 win at home on senior night against Durant. Jack Tierney led the way for the Regals, completing 10 of 18 passes for 156 yards and 2 TDs. Tierney also ran the ball 13 times for 100 yards and a score. Sam Aitchison and Jack Clark both had receiving touchdowns for Regina, and Levi Daniels carried the ball 24 times for 156 yards and a score. The Regals led 17-0 at half, but Nolan DeLong kept Durant in the game, throwing for one touchdown and running for another, both in the second half. DeLong carried the ball 30 times for 146 yards. Regina moved to 8-0 overall and completes an undefeated regular season in Jason DeMont's first year as head coach.
How's it going, everyone? Jeff Johnson from the Gazette here at Liberty High School, just outside North Liberty, where we saw the Burlington Greyhounds come away with a 20-18 win over Iowa City Liberty in an important Class 4A District 3 game. Burlington has a 3-1 district record now to Liberty's 2-2 in a race to follow North Scott into the playoffs. North Scott clinched the District 3 championship earlier on Friday night. Fort Madison also is 2-2. Liberty plays next week at Mount Pleasant, while Burlington and Fort Madison have an all-area finale next week to conclude the regular season. This game was won basically late in the third quarter when Burlington quarterback Kanye Baker ran 25 yards for a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, which gave Burlington a 20-18 lead. All 330 yards Burlington gained in this game came via the ground. 43 attempts. Running back Bryant Williams ran 22 times for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Greyhounds, who attempted one pass play in this game and went incomplete, and actually officially went down as an intentional grounding penalty. So certainly something that is unique, but Burlington has completed just 13 passes all season. So really nothing too much of a surprise. For Liberty, Christian Barney, a 21-yard touchdown reception from Ty Hughes in the first quarter. Darius Willis Newell, a 4-yard touchdown run late in the second quarter to give Liberty a halftime lead of 15-12 after a successful Willis Newell 2-point run. Emerson Bennett with a 22-yard field goal early in the third quarter on the first possession, actually the second half, put Liberty up by the count of 18-12, but Burlington countered with a drive that Baker culminated with the touchdown run and the 2-point conversion. 3 turnovers in this game for Liberty, which were huge. 2 interceptions deep in the red zone, one in the end zone, and one actually at the Burlington 5-yard line. There also was a fumble inside the Burlington 40-yard line, so that was huge. Willis Newell was humongous in this game offensively for Liberty, and a workhorse, 34 carries for 158 yards. Ty Hughes, quarterback for Liberty, had 168 yards passing, completing 15 of 26 throws. Once again, your final score here at Liberty was Burlington 20 and Liberty 18. Your final score. Also wanted to point out, Liberty did drive inside the Burlington 40 in the dying seconds of this game, but a Bennett 48-yard field goal attempt, which would have been heroic had he made it, came up well short. So once again, 20-18 Burlington over Liberty. This is Jeff Johnson from the Gazette. Have a good weekend, everyone, and thanks for watching.